Rolling Tin Fist. Hello, MGTOWs, purple pillars, blue pillars, and folks out in the manosphere. I'm tired today because I just did a lot of shoveling, but I've got some time to myself, so I'm going to use it and put out this video. Today I want to talk about veto power, something I talked about in my last video, and it's one of the tools you can use as a male in a relationship, particularly if you're a married male, to help control how you use your time. You get to control that anyway. However, a lot of times in a marriage, for example, or even in a long relationship, you may be so used to just saying yes when you really mean no, maybe in order to keep the peace or not get shamed or guilt tripped into something else. This isn't a problem typically before we get into a relationship, or obviously after the relationship has ended. What happens is that before we become either MGTOW or at least have taken the red pill and become aware of how women work to manipulate men, we're typically, when we're younger, in our 20s, teens, we're just basically trying to get laid. So anything we can do to push things in our favor, we'll do. So that typically involves doing favors for women. Something as simple as white knight behavior. By that I mean what used to be called chivalry, opening the door, putting your jacket over a puddle so she can walk over, things like that. And all that really is just trying to get more favor, to get the kitty cat. The problem with that is that over time, two things happen. One, the woman realizes, oh, okay, he's passed the test. I can use this more to kind of get him to be more of a utility and make it easier because there's less resistance. And if she's good, she'll break you off a little piece of, you know what, to appease your horniness, which in turn makes you say yes more, even when it should be no. So it becomes a virtuous cycle for her and a vicious cycle for you. Virtuous for her is that the more you say yes, the more she realizes how she can use that to influence you. She gives you a reward of some sort, which in turn causes you to say yes to even bigger and greater things, and making it easier for her, giving her less resistance to get what she wants. Vicious cycle for you is that over time you start saying yes to bigger, more demanding, more resource extracting things where you really should be saying no. A couple of examples. You may have a woman in your life that her car is at the mechanic and she could go get it, but let's say it takes her an hour out of her way. So she gives you a call, and maybe she's already giving you some, or she's been throwing attention at you. And she asks you, knowing that you have a job, knowing that maybe it's even going to be more difficult for you to go get her car, asks you to get her car. You have two choices. You can say, sure, I'll do it. Make that three choices. Sure, I'll do it, with nothing in return except for a, oh, thanks, honey. Two, just say no. Or three, which I like to call quid pro quo, this for that. Finding some arrangement where you'll do this for her, pick up her car, if she does whatever for you. Now, despite which of those three options you pick, the most important thing is to not say yes to things that you really should say no to. This is more important as you age as a male, a MGTOW, a married man, status, whatever status you may have, because it gets harder to say no, especially if you've built a precedent of saying yes. So the easiest time to not be part of that vicious cycle is at the beginning. Make it clear what you'll say yes to, what you'll say no to, and under which circumstances. By the time men get to middle age, where I am, and I know so many married guys, they've been saying yes so long that two things. One, their credibility is shot if they just turn around and say no. And most importantly, they realize they can say no, but they have a cheaper to keep her mentality. By that I mean not that they will literally divorce the woman, but their mindset is that it's easier for me to just keep saying yes because I don't rock the boat versus risking whatever conflict may occur and really asserting as a man, I'm saying no and this is why. Or I'm saying no. However, I may consider saying yes under these circumstances. So it's important that men, when you do say yes, make sure it benefits you first and foremost. And then, if you find it in your heart to make the yes benefit the woman, go for it. But primarily, the yes needs to benefit you for two reasons. If it benefits you, then you're fine. If it happens to benefit her, that's a bonus. However, the more you say yes when you should say no, it makes you more resentful, you more bitter. Meanwhile, she is just going to be fine. So, how do you use your veto? Let a brother know. I'm off to the dojo. Doom, 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 doom.